Okay. Let's do the thing. Make sure that you have all of your things, all of your props. I have a bolster here and a blanket and two blocks, but the more the merrier. Pillows or even just more blankets or towels or little pillows, anything is wonderful. And from here, we'll set up a ramp. So you'll take block or books or something that can be of support and have one on the tall side and one on the medium side. And then from there, you can take a bolster or a couple of pillows and find something like this. And from there, you'll bring your booty right up against it. Feet on the earth, knees bend, and then come to lay back. And when you come to lay back here, you want it to feel like, oh, okay, that's the one. So if it doesn't feel like that, maybe the blocks have slipped and they need to be shifted to better support. Sometimes it can feel really nice to bring something into the curve of the neck. Maybe you need to take your hair out. And then you can decide if knees bent here feels good or maybe legs extended long. Maybe even feet as wide as the mat and knees knocking on one another. I have the symphony of the jungle around me, but if you're wanting the playlist, you're more than welcome to put that on. And let yourself land like and I will guide us in a way that is emphasizing that maybe you haven't been on your mat ever or in a long while. So if together we can invite it to be a fresh start, like the first time, almost like a virgin experience kind of thing. Like you never even laid on this mat before, like you've never even felt your breath before, like you've never even come into relationship with yourself before. And I believe in that way, keeping the pressure off of any expectation for anything to be anything. Instead, you just have this moment right here in this body with this breath. So as we come into the practices, we come into the poses where working with energies that aren't effort. So we understand that there are two ever-present energies, two polar complements, the energy of yang and the energy of yin. Yang being the energy of doing, the masculine, the heat, the sun, the earth, right? The achieving and the starting. I like the spark of starting something with birth, creation. On the other side of that, we have the energy of yin, the energy of receptivity, receiving and being. The feminine, the moon, the darkness, the stillness. The completion and the energy of dying, finishing. And so, as we're coming into this practice, we're practicing that energy. We're practicing yin. We're practicing receiving, practicing existing without effort, without achievement. And that can be really difficult when or if you've been conditioned to believe that your worth lies in what you're doing. That your worth lies in what you're achieving. That very idea, that very concept is what we're going to start to call untruth. We're just maybe not that. Because when and if you've been conditioned to believe in that, and when we come into stillness, when we come into receptivity, when we practice the energy of yin, the body revolts. Like, no, this can't be safe. This can't have value. This can't possibly be beneficial. And what's important for us to witness and understand and hold space for here is that the body's just trying to protect. She's just doing her very best job to keep you safe. And so when we hear these stories, because that's all they are, they're just stories. They're just things that you've been told over and over, or that you've told yourself over and over. So when we hear these stories or these words or these patterns, we're just meeting them with so much grace, so much understanding, and practicing speaking to ourselves in a way that feels motherly, in a way that really captures an understanding of like, okay, body, I hear you. I do. Right? And even maybe imagine getting on her level and looking in her eyes and being like, it doesn't have to be this way anymore. That this isn't truth. This isn't who you are. This isn't aligned with your brilliance and your deservingness of experiencing your brilliance. Take a deep breath in. Feel that you could send your breath down towards the very bottom of your lungs, like even the bottom backside of your lungs, in a way that pushes your lungs against your diaphragm, pushes your lungs against your back body. And then exhale, just release, let the prop behind you push all of the air out. And then again, like that, feel the breath come in through your nose and up into your brain, and then send it down towards your lungs. And if you don't feel anything, that's okay. It's actually like a door, like, whoa, I don't feel something. I don't know. But just imagine that space, and then exhale, draw back into the bolster out. Then like that big breath in. Find the edge of your capacity. Find the lip of uncomfortability and pause right there. And then see if you can sip another breath in and send it directly to that bottom back edge. Oh, and then release that, like, by not being afraid to take up space with your sound. You're in your own little sanctuary. It's a beautiful thing. Now, if your legs are straight out, you start to think about bending them, planting your feet on the earth. As we move right now and throughout the rest of the practice, especially in the in-betweens, I want you to imagine that you could move with no effort at all. With your feet on the earth, you might start to rock a little bit through your knees. And then turning your gaze to the right or to the left. Through center and to the other side. And you do that, like open your mouth and stick out your tongue, roll around your jaw, and make a noise. Yeah. Back to the first side. Again, open your mouth, roll around your jaw, stick out your tongue. One more time to the other side. Bring your gaze back to center. And together we'll turn our gaze towards the right and then let our knees fall towards the right. Bringing your left hand up and over to support you onto the earth. Pressing yourself all the way out to the seat. Yeah. From here you can move your props towards what you're calling the front of your mat. You might use them in this next move right now. You can come towards a tabletop and then shifting yourself down into your belly. As you come down to your belly, you can bring your forearms into a number 11 so you're in a sphinx shape. So forearms are parallel, 10 fingers are facing forward. Now from here, we're going to move into broken branch. So pressing down to the right palm to lift the right elbow. And then from there, spreading the left arm through. Palm face up so that then your chest can rest on your bicep. Now from here, you have to decide what will work for you. For me, I like the back of my right palm to rest my forehead on. You might use the bolster. You might use a block. I have core props and they're kind of hard, so it feels good to put like a towel on top of the block. Yeah, you're situating yourself into some kind of shape. And remembering, and maybe learning for the first time that in yin, we don't want to go full blast into anything. If you can imagine your capacity to feel sensation being a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most sensation, we want to arrive in these postures at like a 4. And with that 4, we then use time and we use gravity and we use breath to do the work for us. And so if you feel any inkling, any sound of pain, then you've gone too far. It's an immediate pull out of the posture to resituate, to reprop. And remembering that anytime that there's space between you and the earth, we want to cut that off with a prop. That's why we like to have it like things around. And so now really feel gravity in your right butt cheek and your right hip, so that you can feel both of your hips deeply heavy down towards the earth. With that, now you're probably feeling more in the back of the left shoulder. You can send your breath directly into that space. Right, guiding the breath directly into what you're feeling. And be curious if in that the body's starting to tense. It's probably in between your toes or in the arches of your feet. Or maybe at the backs of the knees. Or in your jaw, in your face. It's a continuous practice of acknowledging and letting go. Just 2 more breaths right here. Send it wide. Exhale completely out. And again, big, wide, expansive breath. All the way out. As you're coming out, I want you to imagine that you're stepping into a hot bath. And feel your right palm press down into your right palm. Lift yourself up, slide your left arm out. And then just relax your forehead to the earth. Your arms can be wide or down by your side. Let's just pause in that space in between. Notice the sensation, the after effect. Your body with your breath. And let's come back to your center. So finding both of your forearms onto the earth. And your number 11. Press down into your left palm this time. Lift up through your elbow. And guide your right arm through palm face up. So that your bicep or your chest comes to rest on your bicep. And be curious if the side is different. The odds are it is. And stop accordingly. Now, in the practice, we're working with meridian, right? These lines of energy, or rather these lines that energy or chi is moving. And you can imagine there's tens of thousands of these lines, creating this really intricate network. This aura. And life happens, right? And especially when we were younger, maybe not as aware or educated or knowledgeable. Or maybe simply just not having the resources. In those moments, these patterns, these densities, these, or this stagnation started to build and exist in these meridians and these lines. Some of these patterns, some of these ways that maybe we consider ourselves that we are, right? This is who I am. Just, this is just who I am. Right? Some of these patterns are so tried and true, right? They've been existing, they've been in existence for so long, and some of them are new. And when we come into the poses, you can imagine it's like kinking a garden hose. It's like creating a blockage, an intentional blockage. And we hold, right? We let the energy build and build and build and build and build and build and build. And then we open the line back up, come out of the pose. And we feel this rush of energy, right? This influx of movement. And that might feel like sensation, or that might feel like emotion, or that might feel like a thought. And our job is just to watch it, just to watch what's happening. Take a big breath in. Yeah, empty, completely like, ah. So your left hand, press down into it. Guide yourself up, unravel. Yeah. Lower yourself back down to the earth. And just flip yourself completely over like a pancake so you're laying flat on your back in a Shavasana-like shape. Experience ever the moment is gifting you. When and if emotions come, we don't have to rationalize it. Understand. And it's just energy that's moving. Maybe that's been begging for a release. Take a breath in through your nose. Now, as you exhale, send a hum down into your heart. Like, and you move. Planting your feet one at a time onto the earth. And then from here, press down into your feet, lift your hips up, and guide them an inch over to the left side of your mat. Now from here, extend your feet down to the bottom right corner, nice and straight. And then your arms will come up into the top right corner. So you're in a banana shape. Now feel here, if your left butt cheek is not on the earth, then you've gone too far. We want to feel that the pelvis is evenly pressing down. You know, you might feel a little bit of space underneath your left elbow. It can be a great place to put a block or a blanket or the bolster. At any point your shoulders or your arms have pain or maybe they like fall asleep or the tingling just feels like too much. It's no problem. Just relax them down by your side. Now we have tens of thousands of these meridians. We focus really merely on 12 of them. And each of these 12 meridians correspond to an organ in the body. In Western ways of thinking, we come to understand the organs in terms of their job, in terms of their function. What do they do? And in traditional Chinese medicine, it's understood that yes, the organ has a physiological function, and also it has a personality. It has an energetic disposition. It has a time in the 24-hour time clock. It has taste. It has a flavor, an element, a season. And this month, and right now in this moment, we're activating the meridian of the small intestine. And the small intestine has the function of receiving food from the stomach and deciding from what it receives, from this essence, what is serving and what is not. Right? What can I extract from this essence to be sent out to the spleen and to the liver, to be circulated, to be repurposed? And what can I get rid of? What can I send down to the large intestine and down to the kidneys to be extracted from the body? But its job is to discern, to judge, to decide what is mine and what is not. What do I need and what do I not need? What is for me and what is not? Take a big breath in. You exhale, feel the breath move down the whole left side of the body. And move gracefully. And bend your knees, bringing yourself back to center. And we'll just go right into the other side. So lifting the hips, bringing them over to the right side of the mat. Extending your legs down along the bottom left corner, and your arms will come up to the top left corner. Again, just deciding how you can prop, how you can enhance the shape. And bringing you into a higher level of receptivity. Right, so we understand that the small intestine is doing this physically. Yet it's also completing the same process of discernment on an energetic level, on an emotional level, on a spiritual level. Every circumstance, every conversation, every relationship, every happening requires processing, requires discernment. This organ and meridian have the capacities, this innate brilliance to complete this. And it's important to see and understand that each of the organs are working as a pair in a network. Right? Everything is yin and yang. So we consider the small intestine to be a yang organ. And its yin pair is that of the heart. And the heart is the heart. Yes. It is what we consider the empress. And the heart holds the spirit. The soul. Its job is to encompass that. And so, in the way that the heart and the small intestine work as a pair, the small intestine is constantly discerning, deciding, right? What is truth and what is not, and what is for me and what is not. Right? What is essence and what is expectation? Right? In a way that these things that aren't for us, that aren't in alignment, that aren't our truth, that aren't guiding or fostering or nurturing us, then don't infiltrate the spirit. No small thing. Take a big breath in. And feel all the way out, feeling the breath down the side of your body. Bending your knees, bending your feet. And just organizing your spine back down the midline of the mat, resting in a Shavasana-like shape. Your breath in your belly. Moving your fingers a little bit. Using the exhale, find a little bit of tone, a little bit of activity in the belly. And then using that to hug your knees in towards your chest. Really pressing the whole length of your spine. So feel from your tailbone all the way to the back of your skull. And then roll on to either one of your sides. Take your time as you come all the way up to a seat. From the seat, swing your legs around, finding tabletop. Making sure that you have ample props towards the top of your mat. We're going to move into sleeping swan, which is the yin variation of pigeon. You might crave to come into downward facing dog, or you can just slide. We'll start with the left shin forward. The right leg will go back. And now it's important that we're propping. And we don't want to be like folding shoulders here. So for me, it looks like a block in front of my left shin, but also the bolster. And then a block through my forehead. So that's something like this. Now, if there's a lot of space underneath of your left butt cheek, you could slide a towel or block or anything, a pillow underneath of it. And you would feel like you have your time, basically. It's no mistake. And have indeed deliberately chosen the small gesture, the idea of discernment to be the first pathway that we're working in. And it's something I've witnessed in myself and in my process, especially. And also you guys, the people I'm witnessing. Is that there seems to be a pretty large doubt when we're asked to do the right thing for us. When we're prompted to make a choice based solely on our desires. I can't even tell you how many times I've heard, well, how do I know what's right for me? How do I know what is the right choice? That mentality alone, the believing that there's a wrong choice, that there's a wrong way, is maybe the biggest block of all of them. Because that very doubt is prompting the lack of belief in an inner guidance, in an inner knowing, in an inner remembering. And we have been conditioned and pulled and prompted and molded so far away from that. The space of the gut, the knowing, this innate brilliance that is wired into us. Big breath. Maybe even flutter your lips like, or hum or sigh, some kind of relief. And start to peel your chest up and away from the earth. And from here, feel your weight sink into your left hip. You might even use your right hand to assist your right leg forward. Bringing your right foot in front of your left foot. I'm going to wind it up a little bit more and move into shoelace. I'm going to show you the most wound up variation, and then I'll show you some modifications. So if it feels okay in your body, see what it feels like to bring your left knee to face forward. And then from there, you can assist your right leg on top of your left leg. And the farther away your heels are from your body, the more sensation you're going to feel. Okay. If there's a huge space between your knees, you could put a towel or even a block. Yeah. If you get here and you feel really slouched, like in your lower back, you could sit up on a towel or a blanket. Now, this just might feel so far away, and know that you're not alone in that. So if that's the case, then extend the left leg long, the bottom leg long, something like this. Yeah, again, you can bring this block in. Okay. Now, for me, fingers to my side, straight spine, I already feel sensation in the back of my left hip. inner edges of my left hip. And that is plenty for me. If you're wanting to fold forward, you're more than welcome in any capacity. Bring some sigh, some vibration, some hum. When we utilize sound, we're working with vibration. Imagine it's like dusting the internal world, the energetic world, the meridian. You're sending a vibration in that's very gently shaking, helping to unlock, dislodge anything not supposed to be. And your breath right into what you're feeling. Heavier to each of your systems. More breath. Fold it in slowly. Bring your shoulders back up over your hips. Falling back, unraveling your legs, spinning them long. You're giving them a little shake, pointing, flexing to the toes. Let's wind it up on this last side. You're coming forward towards tabletop. Snapping the hands. Maybe you create the downward facing dog, where it's just an easy slide forward with your right shin. Knowing that this side, odds are it's completely different. But can you accommodate? Can you really listen rather than expecting, anticipating be planning or controlling the outcome. It's like really ask yourself, what would make this feel so divine? Be able for the conversation. Breath. Notice where you're gripping. Really just let gravity into your bones for these last 3 breaths. Full breath in. All the way out, pressing away from the earth, lifting up through your spine. Sinking into your right hip to swing your left leg forward. This last line up. Again, this slide may be different. See what it feels like to bring the right knee to face forward, and then maybe the left leg will come on top. If this feels far away, again, remember, maybe sitting on something will give a little bit more space. Or extending the right leg long, the bottom leg long. Driving fingertips to the earth, and then straight spine will do the trick for us. Holding forward in any capacity would feel better. You can imagine the whole practice has been one of tilling the soil, really getting nurturing fingers into the dirt, loosening it up, pulling out any weed, overall creating this really fertile landscape for something new, for something true, for something aligned. And we're so privileged to have the moon in her brilliance as she's stepping into or revolving into her new moon state, her most yin expression, where everything is dark, where things are dying, being starved out. So that the new can be planted and be nurtured. And that new doesn't have to be anything grand, big or expansive. That new is one step it's one step coming from a place of knowing. And that knowing doesn't always necessarily make sense. The how to is often so obscure and mysterious. Take a big breath in. Release. If you're folded in, bring your shoulders over your hips, and let's get ready for the big finale. You'll come to lay on your back. I recommend a bolster under your knees, of course. Maybe a blanket over your belly or your body or something covering your eyes. Really cozy yourself in. I really yawn. Or sigh or hum or grunt or like let there be a gesture of arrival. And see about maintaining a receptive state. In a way that invites that first step, that inner knowing to plant without your action, without your control, without your effort. And you stay so open to receive as you drift in these moments. You can trust in the vibration, the cadence of my voice. It will bring you back here when it's time for you to be back here. But for right now, you rest.
Shavasana.
Try to notice some sounds happening around you. One of those sounds may even be your breath. Your breath, you being a breathing body. Start to acknowledge that, feel for that, feel for the breath in your belly and in your brain, on the back side of your lungs. Feel your breath down into your feet. And at the very center of your chest, your heart space. Seeing about sending the breath down into the shoulders, down the arms, into the elbows, through the wrists, and then finally feeling the breath into your hands as you awaken your fingers, rubbing your thumbs against each of the pads of your forefingers. And then bringing your hands somewhere onto your body. Doesn't matter where. Just feel for what feels right, and mostly feel that your hands are on your body, holding yourself in the same way that you'd hold someone that you love. With your hands on your body, let them be a remembrance of the joy of coming home. Take a big breath into the palms of your hands. As you exhale, feel your hands push the breath out. Inhaling from your nostrils up into your brain, into your mind. And then feeling your mind energetically bow down towards your heart. Bowing into the way. The knowing, the believing, the trusting, the brilliance of you and all beings everywhere. It's from me to be receptive with this body that you just worked. If you can lay on your back for 5, 10, 15 hours, stay as long as you can. And
anything that came up, put it into your journal, write it down. Doesn't have to make sense. And from there, if you go back to the sanctuary, there'll be some intention, questions, prompts below this video to help you solidify the path, the process that will be your first month here. I love you.